Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's really good that we are here and at the European Higher Education Fair 2022 online session. Of course, we have had the offline or in-person event in Jakarta, Saturday and Sunday, and also yesterday we just finished in our Surabaya event. Okay, my name is Molly. I'm going to be your host for this session because now I'm going to talk with one of the universities, Saxion University of Applied Sciences, and we are here with Arthur. Hello, Arthur. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Molly. Thanks for having us. So we're happy to do the last part of the AHF after we have done the one in Jakarta and Surabaya, which was very nice for us. It was the first time participating in the AHF, not for Saxion, but for me and my colleague who joined. So it was a very nice experience. And yeah, I'm happy to extend the questions to also the online session today.
Exactly. So just for your information that we are streaming live on our YouTube channel. And again, to all the visitors online or participants online, feel free to chat us, okay, and then drop the questions because I'm connecting with my colleagues outside, and then they are going to deliver all the questions through my other screen. But of course, I do have a lot of questions regarding about Saxion University of Applied Sciences, and then we are going to have like roughly like 45 minutes to have a talk. And of course, Arthur is happy to answer all the questions. Okay, let's begin this very special session. So Arthur, Saxion University of Applied Sciences, right? I think it's
Yes.
based, the location, it's, apologize if I made a mistake regarding pronounce the city. It's on Enschede in the Netherlands, correct?
Yes, it's one of the campuses. It's also the one where we have most of the students, but it's definitely not the only campus. So we have other campuses in Deventer and in Apeldoorn, which are a bit more to the western part of the Netherlands. But all those campuses are basically located in the eastern part of the Netherlands, all of them.
I see.
So that's kind of the counterpart to the so-called Randstad, where you have all the big cities. But the biggest advantage of studying in that region is also that the housing situation is much more relaxed, of course. And for people who like a bit of a nature and maybe want to focus really on their studies, then studying in those cities and or regions would most probably even be the better choice.
Yeah. Okay, this is a very fundamental question. Like, what is University of Applied Sciences? Because we do have a lot of these questions during the offline event, but I think most of the visitors online or participants online, they really want to know what is University of Applied Sciences?
Yeah, and they should know because it's a very important question that they need to ask themselves before they want to make the choice to study in the Netherlands. Well, very simply said, what is the University of Applied Sciences? Let me turn it a bit around by maybe first explaining what a research university is. Very simply, what we often say is that a research university focuses on the how aspect of things. So that means that you want to really go to the basic, like for example, why is the Earth round, etc. So it's really just the basic knowledge that is very important to develop because this is the basis for all of our world, of course. So once again, I put it very black and white so that people can understand this abstract concept. A University of Applied Science, so the name basically already says it, it focuses on the application of science. So I told you that the research university focuses on the how aspect, and we at the University of Applied Sciences focuses on the why. Sorry, I turned it the other way around. So it's basically the why aspect is at the research university, and we do the how aspect. It means, okay, we have the basic knowledge, very nice, that this and this and that exists. How can we use that in order to put it in concrete solutions, products for the society, for normal people? Very simple said. And you could say that this is also a skill or an approach which is much more needed nowadays, because you know, it's very important that you don't only study the theory, but when you want to work for a company later on, it's very important that you have actual skills, practical skills. So it really doesn't matter where you're going to work afterwards, which fields, which company, which country, you always will have to deal with people, for example. So we also have a lot of project work, etc., which really prepares you for the actual needs of the labor market. So that is very simply said the biggest difference, I would say. Also, what is very important, maybe to also help you to overcome a big stereotype that people say that studying at the research university is harder or that it is better to study at a research university. That's not really true. I always give this example as well. Which tool is better? Is it a hammer or is it a screwdriver? What do you think, Molly? What is the better tool? What would you say?
Well, if you ask me, I would say hammer is better than.
Yeah. No, but the thing is also like, it depends on what you need it for, right? A hammer
Exactly.
can be
Yeah,
the better tool when you need a hammer, right? But when you don't need a hammer, then maybe a screwdriver could be better.
Yeah.
So it's the same with the university. So we always tell the people, if you want to study at a research university, go ahead, be happy there. But it's very important to really figure out who are you, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, which approach do you like, and then make the study choice based on that, and not based on what other people say or what you think could be better based on some ranking or something like that.
Exactly. So again, if when students would like to choose, better to ask themselves that what motivates you to study, and then if you would like to, what is it, like the knowledge would like to be applied straight away to the to your career. So I think University of Applied Sciences would be better as the preference to choose the university between research university and also University of Applied Sciences. Okay. Because we are talking about Saxion, a University of Applied Sciences. So, what unique opportunities that what unique opportunities does Saxion University of Applied Sciences provide?
Yeah, a very good question, of course, because we are not the only University of Applied Sciences in the Netherlands, so that's people really need to know what else they would choose. Very simply said, when you compare it to other universities, we have by far the biggest offer of technical study programs. So that means if the students that are watching right now are interested in technical study programs, most probably they will land sooner or later on our website anyways, because we just have the suitable study programs. But that doesn't mean that we are only a technical university, not at all. So we also have business programs, healthcare programs. There would be programs, but we also have those programs. So we have it all. Also, like I said before, we are located in the eastern part of the Netherlands. And right now, like I said before, it can be quite challenging to find a student housing when you study in the Netherlands. And we are one of the very few regions where people still can't find housing. So basically everybody who needed housing got a housing from us last year, or in the region, basically. So that's important to know, because the situation is a bit challenging at the Netherlands at the moment. So that's important to know. We also focus on, let's say, what our slogan is get ready for a smart world. That maybe you saw also on our website, on a logo, etc. That means, very simply said, that doesn't matter what you study. If you study something technical, something social, something healthcare related, we always try to at least also teach you the technological impact that technology has on your branch. I mean, look at this. This is a smartphone. I think everybody has it, right? You don't need to know how to program or build a smartphone, but you need to know what you can do with it, because that helps communication. It helps a lot of applications. So it's very important that everybody at least understands the basic concept of technological solutions in their fields of operations. And that's what we try to teach the people. Also, what we hear back from a lot of students, international students, that we are a very personal university, also when we compare it to other universities. Because we are in the eastern part of the Netherlands, there are not living so many people, and international students are not, I wouldn't say exotic, but you're then just a group which a lot of people see, and of course the teachers as well, and they like to work with international students. Whereas in Amsterdam, you have people coming from all over the world all the time. But for us, it's still quite a unique thing, I would say, and they value that very much. So the students get a very practical and personal approach, most of all. And I think especially for international students, that can really make a difference, because, well, you are 13,000 kilometers away from your home in the Indonesian example. So you really kind of need a second home. And there are a lot of students that call us second home. So I think that is also something that is a unique thing for us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there is one point that Arthur mentioned on your statement that regarding about the limited number of housing at the moment is happening in the Netherlands. Of course, I would like to give a very important what is it, like notification that please do not put the application on the very deadline, because I think
Yes.
that's kind of like a make the limitation time to find accommodation. So it's better now if you are ready to submit your application, or if you are ready to, what is it, like after you finish receive the letter of acceptance, you can find the accommodation, of course, with help from the university as well. Because again, when you put the application is very last minute, we are afraid that you cannot find suitable accommodation for you guys. So now it's the perfect timing to make an application, especially to the Saxion University of Applied Sciences. Okay,
Yeah.
Continue. Well, I used to be a master student like years ago, and I think you are too after. So can you describe like what it's like to be a student at your university? Because I am sure that, because I think I saw the new building of Saxion. That's pretty cool. So if you can describe more regarding about what it feels like to be a student at the Saxion University.
Well, you're very close to the heart of the city, of each and every city. Enschede, Deventer, Apeldoorn, we are located in the middle of the city, basically directly to the station. So it's already, let's say, as an international student, it's very easy to find us. That's maybe the first thing. And maybe what is also very important, but it's more like a general thing, how it is to be an international student in the Netherlands. I can tell you, you will most probably feel a little bit lost at the beginning, but that is totally normal. So don't let yourself be scared from that, in a sense like, oh my God, why did I go to study in the Netherlands? I should have stayed home in Indonesia. You will have those feelings for sure. But that's part of it. That's also part of the beauty, you know, overcoming challenges. But we also have an international office with nice colleagues who are always there to help you. But I would say it's also a very fun time, you know. Luckily, we right now, well, fingers crossed that we really overcame the COVID situation. But right now in the Netherlands, it doesn't look like we will go to a lockdown or something like that. So that means that you would be next year, or basically also that started this year, the first cohort that started in normal circumstances. So that means that you can also enjoy your student life again. So that is very nice. What else is it at Saxion? Like I told you, so it's really, you really work from the first year. And that's also what I hear from a lot of students, that they were a bit surprised, because maybe you know it from your school time. You kind of start slowly, you know, everybody talks about the summer holidays, etc. But no, from day one, you basically really work. Basically, you do project works directly. You are probably in the first week already in some kind of project group. In a lot of study programs, you also have first contacts with real companies. That's a very big part of our study program. So easily said, is lots of information at the beginning. So that's also what we tell the people, really prepare a lot. Molly said it already, and I couldn't agree more. Apply on time. Do everything what you can do it really on time, so that you can really focus on the first few weeks of your study program, because the first few weeks are very essential. You need to, because you basically get introduced into the whole study program. You will get to know a lot of people. So ideally you do that while sitting in a safe and I don't know, housing that you will have for the next few months, etc., so that the basics are covered. Because when you have to get to know the environment, the people, the teachers, and at the same time you have to worry about some bureaucratic thing like an insurance that is still not managed or arranged, then it could be a bit harder, of course. But other than that, I can tell you it's also a big fun time, and also what we tell the people, enjoy it as well. And maybe that's a typical Dutch way of life. You're not only a student number, or let's say an empty ECTS bucket that needs their student points, but you're also a human being and are about to have probably the most fun years of your life. So you also don't forget to enjoy it. And I think you have really a lot of possibilities to enjoy it at Saxion. And yeah, I talked a lot right now, but in the end, you also should ask the students themselves. We have a nice platform, it's called Into Saxion. And also that's maybe a big tip, expand your network, get in touch with a lot of people. You can definitely ask Molly and his team. They also know a lot of alumni from Dutch universities or people who study there. Ask them, really get in touch with them, expand your network. Because I can tell you, you will definitely miss Indonesian food, and rightfully so, because Dutch food is horrible, I can tell you. So you will really miss it. And after a few weeks, probably you will also be like, oh, I miss my mom, I miss my dad, I miss my family, the food. And when you then sit alone in your student housing, then it can be really depressing sometimes even. So it's very important that you have a big network of friends who then just go out and have a drink with you, or go out and play soccer or whatever you want to play, so that you really have people there, a second home, like we said before. And if you have that and everything else is settled, then you really have the time of your life, I can assure you. Because we also had this alumni dinner last night, where Morley also did a very nice presentation, and there were alumni who after a few years came back, and you could really still see the smile on their eyes.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the best thing that it says. Not some guy like me giving a presentation, but just seeing those alumni being really happy with their experiences. I think that says it all.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Before I would like to emphasize everything that Arthur has said, just want to inform you guys that ECTS, European Credit Transfer System, if I can translate to Indonesia, so ECTS equals to SKS apabila di Indonesia, ya. Okay. Regarding with the support system, right? The support system, yes, of course. In the Netherlands, for sure that you can find Indonesian friends because the community in Indonesia is quite big. And then we do have Persatu atau Perhimpunan Pelajar Indonesia or Indonesian Students Community. I believe in NSK they do have that as well. So basically, you do not feel lonely while you are going abroad. And also, I agree with Arthur said that you're going to miss Indonesian food. But again, don't worry. A lot of Indonesian restaurant, spreading out in the Netherlands, and I hope you are here, Arthur. You've been here for like 5 days, like a week. I think you are going to miss Indonesian food when you back home.
I definitely miss it, yeah. And especially also that the people are very kind here. So I will definitely, even though I've only been here for a short time, I will definitely miss it. But the nice thing is, because the countries are very close to each other. Well, not physically, geographically, but just, a lot of stuff is similar. For example, if you go to the supermarkets, you have a lot of Indonesian food there, or spices or whatever. So I think the Indonesian group is the one who will at least miss the food, but still, trust me, you will miss your food. And I understand it even more after my time here in Indonesia.
Okay, so in the University of Applied Sciences, the internship, right? The internship program, it's under curriculum, right? For example, like for the bachelor, so the last year of study, they have to do the internship law. And how does it work? I mean, do they have to find the work by themselves, or the university can help them out?
It's both is possible, but also very important, and you already said it. So an internship is a very basic and integral part of your study. And that's also the very nice thing, because I told you at the beginning that we focus on the application of science, a very hands-on study program. So you shouldn't see it, you have to do an internship, but you may do an internship, because that's a very nice experience in your life as well. And there are basically two options. That means that you can either, every study program has their partnerships and collaborations with a lot of companies, really a lot of companies. So a lot of students make use of that network of the particular study program. That's one possibility. That's also, I would say, the safer bet, in the sense that, it's a company where you have a good people there who will also be standing by your side and helping you good. But you don't have to do it, because it could also be that, the companies don't really fit to your ideas or wishes. So it's also possible that you come with a company yourself. It's just very important. You have to check, but that will be, communicated to you directly and automatically when it is time to choose it. There are some guidelines or some quality checks that you need to check with your study counselor in that case. But then you can just study or basically do your internship at the company. That's no problem. And I would also say that's maybe even also the nicer part, because see it a little bit also as not something you have to do, finding a company for your internship, but see it also a bit like kind of a test case for a real job application, because regarding the process, it's not really different. You have to write a motivational letter, you have to send your CV, etc. You will most probably be invited for an introduction talk. So see it also a bit like, oh, I need to do that. No, see it also a bit like, okay, this is the first time that I'm really trying it out. And the learnings that you get from there, you can use for your next application, which will then hopefully be a full-time job after your graduation. Yes, so it's not possible, but you may do it really. Also may be important. So every single study program, there is a mandatory internship. For the international study programs, for example, international business that we have, it's even mandatory to do it somewhere abroad. So that means you are Indonesian, you are studying in the Netherlands, and then you have to go to some country which is not Indonesia and not Netherlands. But once again, it's not that you have to, but when you study international business, I think you just want to explore the world. And then you just really like to go to the US, to Brazil, to Turkey, to China, wherever, you know, so everything is possible.
Okay, cool. Now it's time for us to reading the questions from the visitor or participants online. Okay.
Oh yeah, sure,
So
sure.
yeah, so now I'm just looking from the other screen. Okay, so the first questions. I think this is anonymous, but I'm going to read it out for you, Arthur. So may I know, is there a graphic design major in Saxion University of Applied Sciences?
Not really, not directly graphic design, but we have a study program, creative media and game technologies, which definitely has big parts of graphic design in it. So if that person who asked the question, if you really want to study fully graphic design every day, basically, then maybe we don't really have a study program for you. But if you want to have those elements and maybe also just, you know, broaden your horizon a bit, then creative media and game technologies could be a good choice as well for you.
Okay, so creative media. Okay, cool. So yeah, so that's the answer from Arthur. So we have another question. So let me try to scroll. Hold on one moment. Okay. Maybe this is just my curiosity regarding about the creative media. So basically, that program, you will learn a lot of things regarding about the creative thinking, and then how to how to put this in one word. How do we put the communication into the design? Is that correct, Arthur?
Basically, so yeah, you could very easily say that. So with creative media and game technologies, you have, you know, it also says it, you have video games, but it's not Super Mario Kart, etc. But it's also a lot of, as we call it, serious gaming. So very simply said, you have 3 different specializations there. You can be the director, project manager, who is just supervising the whole project of developing a video game or a video game application. Then there's the creative part. You know, that's usually the person who, if you stick to that example with Mario Kart, for example, who comes up with the different figures, giving them names and making them look nice. The whole storyboard is also part of it, a big story, you know, that you see in video games. And the third one is done, let's say, an IT person, because somebody at the end of the day needs to program everything so that it works on your computer. And those are the 3 different specializations. And the nice thing that in the first year, everybody, doesn't matter what he or she wants to do later on, has to learn a little bit of everything. That means that you really understand each other's point of view better. And from the second year on, you have to focus on one of those specializations. And then you can really go deep into that individual topic. But the nice thing is that you have both. You have a broad overview at the beginning, and then a focus possibility, which is a very good combination.
Okay, cool. That's really nice one. Okay, another question. Is it required to do internship when you are doing master degree?
No, so it's not a big part, because the master is basically just, you know, some call it cherry on top, and it's also shorter than the bachelor's. But also because we are a University of Applied Sciences, but we do offer masters, but also they are very hands-on. So you also have, especially in the masters, a lot of collaborations with real companies, because for those companies, they can get really quite high quality input from the students. And it happens quite often that you have companies who have collaborations with Saxion in that case, and they come with, yeah, just, you know, they just have a problem where they just need an answer to, and then they make use of the creative brains from the students. And it's a win-win situations, because, you know, the companies gets good insights for basically nothing. And the students not only read, I don't know, technical, theoretical things and just project showcase to show them some theory, but they really see, okay, how does a company look like? Most of all, they know it already, but what kind of questions do they ask? What is their strategic problem? And what kind of questions do they really ask, you know? And those are usually not the ones that you see as examples in textbooks. So that's a very important thing. So no, not really an internship, but a lot of project work with companies, and very often you also do your final assignment also in collaboration with the company, or basically you then do a project on your own in a company, but it's not really an yeah, like an internship or something.
Okay, cool. Got it. Another questions. I think someone is asking about regarding about the admission. So how can the students improve their chances of admission?
Oh, I would say to really work on themselves. I mean, in a personal way as well, because that's the nice thing. The admission is very basic. So, you know, it's not that we have admission tests or something like that. Very simply said, you just need your high school diploma from Indonesia. The colleagues from NESO, by the way, can also help you with, you know, explaining that, what kind of diploma you need, etc. Then you need sometimes you don't need, especially when you have a certain diploma. You need a language course, and that's, you know, you have different grades, but we usually speak of the EELTS. And then you need a minimum of 6. That's basically everything. And then oftentimes you're also asked to write some kind of motivational letter, sometimes even a small portfolio. And I think that is very important for Indonesian students. Sometimes this is a cultural difference. For Dutch people, or for the Netherlands in general, it also counts a lot, like who comes studying there, you know? So Dutch teachers in general really want to see, who are you? What did you do so far? Why do you think Saxion would be a good study choice for you, especially the program as well? And what do you want to do later with your life, and how can we contribute to that? That is much more important for them to then hearing, oh, I had this grade in math at my school in Indonesia or something like that. But I can imagine it's a bit like very unusual for Indonesian students. I could really understand that, but still try to maybe talk to people who already studied in the Netherlands, and then write really a personal story almost. And that will definitely, well, your chances are already very high, because once again, we don't have very strict rules where we filter out a lot of people, but see it also a bit like as a first very important preparation for your study program. And if you write such a motivational letter down, it not only shows the teacher something about you, but also it helps you very much yourself if you really think about it and then write something down. So that's the best preparation for your actual study program.
Yep. So create the very inspirational motivation statement, and also the story. It's all about you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Another question: is the game technologies offered for masters? Because I think this participant already looked it up on your website, but seems it's only offered for the bachelor. So he just want to confirm.
Unfortunately not. So we don't have a bachelor in creative media and game technologies. So it's a bachelor, not really, we don't have a master, sorry. We have a bachelor. So it's only a bachelor. Unfortunately not a master, no, sorry.
There you go.
Also, we don't
So,
really
yeah.
have a master. If I look at our masters, we also don't really have a master which goes in that direction. So unfortunately not. So you have to look at other universities. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. It's all good. Okay, so there is someone is asking regarding about students' life. Okay, so where do your students usually go after their study? For example, like I think this is more like really basic students' life. So do they go hang out around the university, or is there any like a what is it like students' facilities around the university? So how do you answer that?
Yeah, all pretty much depends. You know, this is really, we have so many students, and of course you have different needs and wishes, preferences. What we really hear a lot is that we have a very nice campus. So that you really see that, you know, some people, when they enter our campus for the first time, the first thing they usually ask is like, oh, is this a private university? Because they think it looks so expensive there, but it's not. We're a public university. But it's just, you know, also the bit this Dutch standard, I would say, where it's really about we see students as human beings who are in a university and not as people who go there to take an exam or something like that. So you really see that back in the whole architecture and the interior design, etc. So people just hang out. You also have like cafes, etc. at the universities. That's one thing. You also have study associations in every study program, and they also sometimes have their own room where you can just sit and, you know, do whatever you want. What is also very nice, I think I mentioned that before, we are located in every single city that we are present. So Enschede, Deventer, and Apeldoorn. We are located literally 5 minutes walking from the city center. So there are a lot of cafes, bars very close by where you can just visit afterwards together with your fellow students and just, you know, talk about university or what students talk about. Let's not go into details right now. So there are different possibilities. Also, what we hear a lot of from requests from international students, sports seem to be a very important thing, and there are a lot of possibilities to do also sports in all of our cities. So I would say those are, yeah, most of the activities that students are doing after classes.
Okay, so this is gonna be the very, how do you call, like, student study life balance. Okay, so students, they're studying really hard, but also that they can find a really nice spot around Saxion campus. So please go access www.saxion.edu if you would like to see what is it, the campus, the buildings, and everything. Do you have any, what is it, like the open day very soon regarding about the Saxion? Yep.
There are several possibilities. I would say the most logical thing to do right now, especially for the people who have been at the fairs yesterday and also in the weekend, is that you guys join one of our digital discovery days. So it's basically a digital open day, an online open day, where you can talk to teachers and students directly. So it's not just listening, but you can really just ask questions directly. And it's online, so it means you don't have to travel to the Netherlands yet, because, you know, you probably are just very early in your orientation phase. And then you also have general information about, you know, how to apply. Housing is also a very important topic. And then you just join to that study program that you are most interested. For example, creative media and game technologies. Then you join, yeah, such an online room like we are doing right now, but then with the teacher and the student and other international students who are interested in studying in Saxion. The next one is already in 3 weeks roundabout. So it's on Wednesday, 30th of November. Yeah, 3 weeks. So you should definitely join that if you at least consider studying at Saxion, because it's for free. Everybody can sign up. It's also, I don't know, not like the first step of the application, but it's just really an information event. And if you afterwards say, oh, not for me, then it's fine. Then it's not that you have to pay a fee or whatever. You just really join that info day, and then you get all the informations. And a lot of people really value that information because you get firsthand insights from a teacher and a student. Second possibility then is a student for a day, as we call it. So that means that you can still do it online if you want to, but a lot of people choose to really visit the campus. So then you just basically let us know when you plan to come to the Netherlands, to Enschede, Deventer, or Apeldoorn, and we will then match you with a student from your study program. Ideally, sometimes it's possible to also match it with an Indonesian student from your study program. That is, of course, the best combination. And then you can spend basically a full day with the students in or around Saxion to really see how it is studying there. And I also really advise you guys to really visit every single university that you're interested in, because I still hear from some students who say like, oh yeah, I just apply online and then I go there basically 1 or 2 days before my study start. First of all, it's a bit challenging for a non-European student. That's the first thing. But also, you know, it's really a lot. And maybe Molly, you also remember that from your study time. It's really is a difference between like looking up information online or really just, yeah, sometimes we say like really seeing and feeling the atmosphere at the university. That is also something which you should take really seriously. So really go there, visit it with your family before you really make your final choice. So we have everything what you need for that. Check our website, Saxion.edu, where you find both the application for the digital discovery day, but also the student for a day.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's students, you have a lot of opportunities, of course, to get to know more about Saxion University of Applied Sciences. And then again, you can find all the information regarding about Saxion on www.saxion.edu. Okay, now it's time for me to give the opportunity for you, Arthur, to promote, or maybe do you have any what is it like words for us, or just describe what Saxion before we close this session? There you go, Arthur.
Oh, well, I could tell you a lot about Saxon the best and this and this and that, but I really believe in that, what I'm just about to say. Saxon can be the best university for you, but it can also be that another university is the best for you. So for us, it's important. Of course, you want to have a lot of students from Indonesia because we love Indonesian students, but for us, it's most important that we have the right students for the right study program. So that's, like I said, so really invest a lot right now, because it's a very important step for you right now. It's the first step into your future. It's really an important milestone. You shouldn't really underestimate it, because you can really go into different directions based on your study choice. So for us, it's very important. Once again, I'm more than happy if I see you back next September as a student from Saxion, but I will be even more happier when you just go to another university and there you are even more happy. And keep that in mind. There is not the best university for you. There is, well, in general, but there is just the best university for you as an individual. And once again, Saxion is a very good study choice for a lot of people, but you really have to find that out yourself. I hope I could give you some inspiration today, the first introduction. But just, make your own research as well. Go visit the university, talk to people who studied there, because they are the most credible source of basically every university, and really also enjoy the trip, I can tell you, because I really sometimes wish I could be 18 again, to really just go through that whole journey. And also don't forget, when you're in that journey, to also enjoy it, because it will be over sooner as you think, and then you are like old like me right now, sitting and giving a presentation. So really enjoy it, but also take it seriously, because it's a very important step right now. And we are very happy to help you. And I think Molly and his team from NASO will also be happy to help you, and the whole AHEP, of course. It's not very nice that something like that is organized, because like I said, it's a very important choice right now, and you need all the information that you should get.
Sure thing. Okay, well, thank you so much, Arthur. I think our session is done. Study in the Netherlands with the various University of Applied Sciences, and you're the one, Saxion University of Applied Sciences. There you go. So I hope you have a safe flight for today. And then my name is Molly. I'm signing off. So we are going back to another session at 3 p.m. So see you guys.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Molly. Bye.
Thank you, Arthur.